Craving your next action-packed adventure? Audible delivers thrills of every kind on your command, like Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, where a lone astronaut must save humanity from extinction, narrated with stunning intensity by Ray Porter. From electrifying suspense and daring quest to spine-tingling horror and romance in far-off realms, unleash your adventurous side with gripping titles that'll keep you guessing. Discover exclusive Audible originals, hotly anticipated new releases, and must-listen bestsellers that hook you from the first minute. Because Audible knows there's no greater thrill than the one that speaks to you. Discover what lies beyond the edge of your seat. Start your free 30-day trial at audible.com/WonderyUS. That's audible.com/WonderyUS.
This is Reusse for the Canopy Group. Since 1858, Minnesotans have been enjoying all this great state has to offer. From Niagara Cave to the Lake of the Woods, outdoors adventures abound. Did you know Minnesota spans more than 86,000 square miles? I didn't know that. It's great we can experience a state so rich in landmarks, landscapes, art, and adventure. With so many options, it got us thinking, why are so many Minnesotans limiting their home and auto insurance options? Today, 80% of Minnesotans have their insurance with just one agent who has only one company. No options. At the Canopy Group, we offer you more than 16 companies for your home and auto insurance, and 50 professionals work for us. So as your needs change, they have options that can provide you with comprehensive insurance coverage. You wouldn't want to fish in only one of Minnesota's 10,000 lakes, and the Canopy Group doesn't want you to be stuck with only one insurance company. Visit thecanopygroup.com or call 800-967-3389 and get your insurance options today.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you watch it, but Saturday night, Dallas at Winnipeg
Yes.
played a thrilling seventh game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was edge of your seat.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really looking forward to Sunday night, last night.
Toronto.
Florida at Toronto, seventh game.
Gritty Game 6 victory for the Maple Leafs in
game.
Florida. They get it home.
Yeah.
They get it home. They got 20,000 idiots standing out on the street watching a big screen, drunk.
I've never seen a worse playoff game in my life. Toronto was non-existent.
6-1, and here's the good part.
I don't get it.
Canadian, if a jersey here costs you like $280,
yeah,
Canadian, it's got to cost you $350, right?
I don't know.
A Maple Leafs jersey.
Yeah.
They were throwing them on the ice in protest,
and they were
rid
booing
of
to beat the hell out
They
of
were
them, too.
booing to beat the crap out.
Can you explain that? I've never seen anything like it.
It's they just still change it up, and but I find it amusing. You know, we know what's going to happen in the postseason with the Wild.
They're going to lose.
Beat. They're going to lose.
Right.
But we don't go downtown and look at a big screen, 15,000 people on West 7th Street.
Well, they would have tried it if they got to the second round.
Screaming and hollering.
Oh, no, they would have done it here.
But they would have got 800 people, maybe, if they're lucky.
Yeah.
They got a lot of people to watch the old the guys race down the hill, which we don't do anymore at the Winter Carnival, right? What we call that?
Fast ice or
crashed ice.
Crashed ice.
Crashed ice. Yeah, we St. Paul got rid of that. There were too many people coming downtown. We didn't like.
Well,
that.
it's because they got frustrated at Joel for writing the clues wrong. That's why.
I don't write the clues.
So. Anyway,
Pat, I've never saw a team that flat.
It's unbelievable.
I can't believe it
because it's they get themselves worked up every year. I mean, it's the greatest hockey town in the world because
that hasn't won a cup since 1967.
Yes.
The last year of the original six.
Who's more rabid, the Leafs or the Canadian crowd?
I think probably the Leafs.
Okay.
I think maybe the Frenchies are, they.
What they went out this year in the first round.
Yeah, right. They got to the finals a few years ago with a mediocre team. They kind of sneaked their way in, Canadian. But Toronto, can you imagine You can pay a couple $100 for a ticket here. Can you imagine what Canada? I bet their high-priced tickets are like $400 a game there.
But
They
now
fill
you
the
got
place.
that terribly significant, historical playoff
Florida.
Stanley Cup battle between Raleigh, North Carolina, and a shopping mall
Both
off
of
a
them.
freeway in Florida.
Both of whom have won Stanley
Yes,
Cups,
yes.
by the way. Both of whom have, since we expanded the hockey, they both have more Stanley Cups
Oh, we went through
than
this.
than Toronto and Minnesota.
It's just
Who was Raleigh? Who was the Hurricane? Where did they?
Hartford Whalers.
It was Hartford. Okay.
Whalers, yes.
Okay.
That's and they they were traditionally lousy in Hartford. They went down there.
If I could play for any NHL team, it would be Carolina.
Really?
You like Carolina?
Great airport.
Oh yeah, it is.
So you're sitting at the table with your agent.
Yep, I say we gonna pick.
We gotta go Raleigh.
Tampa. I'll go Raleigh, and even though I don't want to be,
I don't like Tampa, the airport.
They
'cause
got
if
an
you gotta
airport.
the airport's fine. But if you got to go across the bridge to St. Pete, it can take you days.
well, you live on the other side.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I'd
Well,
go to
look at
Winnipeg,
traffic.
Calgary, and Alberta.
You've never been to the Winnipeg airport, have you? But
yes, I have.
How busy can it be?
That's
you
my
know?
point. I don't want to play for New Jersey.
No, God, no. Especially now that
Or
Now that
Chicago.
you can't
now
fly
that there's
into where you
now
have to
that-
fly to.
Now that there's a 50%,
Isn't that where they land every night? It'd be Newark.
Yes, I flew into Newark all the time when I went to
I've
New
flown
York.
into it once.
Yeah, it's I much preferred it to LaGuardia, but that was when they actually had the planes land, which was a good idea. Instead of diverting you to Greenland.
I wrote three things down.
Okay,
We've covered
The Maple
Toronto.
Leafs. Well, it was just
There's nothing to
horrible.
say. It's just
So what do they do now? They trade Austin Matthews?
I don't
or
know.
something?
He didn't show me much. He doesn't show me as much as Connor McDavid and Draisaitl and who's the guy Dallas picked up? He's
Did
played.
Edmonton win? Edmonton's in, right?
Yeah,
They're
this
in the
is going to
quarterfinals.
be another Edmonton Florida Cup series.
And let's hope Florida don't win. We want Edmonton, don't we? I don't
yeah.
care. They've won their share, but anyway. I'd like to see McDavid win one instead of Florida. I don't know.
What are they doing right with that Panther club, though? The Paul Maurice must be a genius.
I don't get how they come home and let these guys beat them to go back to after the last. But Reavers, the last two games in Toronto, it's 2-2, right? They go back 2-2. The Panthers beat them 6-1. They go back to Florida. Toronto beats them. They come back home. They get beat 6-1 again. They got beat 12-2 in their last two home games. Unbelievable.
Second name I wrote down, Scottie Scheffler.
He, John Rahm caught him, right, for 1 second?
For a second.
And then he handled the Green Mile a little better than Rahm did.
Rahm was
made
5 over, and Scheffler was 1 under.
Rahm made 2 double bogeys.
But Scheffler, boy, there's just no flair there. He's just a machine.
You know
There's
what
just no
disappointed
flair.
me? The wife runs out there with the baby.
Yeah.
The baby don't give a damn.
No.
The baby
You see how
just
big the
sucking.
head was on that
Yeah,
kid?
the
He's
kid.
got the head, a giant head.
There was
He's
a
a year old. He don't care.
No, he's
Your
not.
dad just won a major. What's
But
wrong?
unlike McElroy, he
The
held
kid
the
didn't
kid
even-
the whole way up to the scorer's tent.
Yeah, but the kid didn't look like he was happy to see Dad. I don't know.
there was a great
surprised.
photo. I don't know if you guys saw it, but
Maybe he thinks Dad's boring.
the kid's sitting on the floor, and Scheffler hands him the pocketbook
Yeah.
to play with. He's got to have him something to play with, otherwise he's going to start screaming, right? So there's a great shot of him talking to the press. The kid off to the side holding the scorer's book with him in the background. It's a great photo. It's a really great photo.
Yeah, I think Scotty and the missus are getting along better than Rory and the
I
missus.
really do.
Because she came out, the big hug, the walk together. They're happy to see each other. And then she didn't have to walk 100 yards behind him like with
So
Rory.
is he better than Tiger or just the current Tiger?
Oh, he's not better than Tiger, but nobody will ever win 40% of the time like Tiger did. But he's pretty damn good. Now once in a while he hits it left. I heard a good thing from on TV this morning that he was hitting it left, like the whole front nine. He was hitting it left, and he said to the caddy, he says, "I thought I hit that one good, and it went left." And he says, "What's going on?" And the caddy says, "Why don't you start aiming a little more right?" Yeah. And then he started hitting it down the middle.
There was a great line. Someone said, "Finally glad to see the guy turn his life around after that arrest from last year."
Yes,
basically saying he's this career criminal.
Yeah, he hasn't even been arrested this year.
Barney Fife got him. That guy was like crazy, insane.
I kept thinking that was at the Masters, but it was at the PGA.
It was the PGA, wasn't it? Okay.
Yeah, and if you're going to be a cop at a golf tournament, they should give you 10 names.
They should show you the book.
Yeah, they should say, "Here's the top 10."
Yeah.
Yeah. Get to know these guys.
If you're going to nail somebody, make it Joaquin Newman.
Yeah, that's right.
But the thing wasn't it? His car had courtesy car written on it, which meant the cop should have known he was part of the event.
It was a Barney Fife deal.
Oh,
Sure.
it was. He was. The guy was not at the golf course the next day.
Oh, for sure.
They sent him, but
He was living for this.
They took him to jail.
Yeah.
For God, he damn near missed his tee time.
Yeah.
Which would have what? Would that have disqualified him?
Yeah.
From the tournament.
Yes.
Yeah. Not just that.
Can't miss the tee time.
Of course, I was going to say not just that day. You can't win it playing only 3 rounds.
Right.
No,
So it would have been the whole tournament.
I don't know, though. It's what he went, 8 or 9 last year? 8 at least, I think. 8.
I can look it up.
And, he was off to a slow start this year. Now he's already won, 3?
Yeah.
The Players, this one. He won the Players, right?
He won something in Texas.
Yeah, I think he's won 3 already.
He had 9 wins in 2024. Also,
since Tiger won 10 one year.
Second major title, Olympic gold medal, FedEx Cup winner, and the 3rd consecutive PGA Tour Player of the Year.
That's right. He won the Olympic too. Won the Olympics, which is
He's won 2 Masters and a PGA. He'll probably do the career Grand
Is there
Slam,
anything
don't you think?
stupider than golf at the Masters? I mean, golf at the Olympics.
I don't go for
Oh, I can top it.
What?
You saw what's coming. Flag football in 2028.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Oh,
I'll tell you what. If you want to follow the drama surrounding the potential of flag football, get your Star Tribune subscription. We've had like 9 stories on flag football, and we had an Aurora blowout.
Really?
They had 2/3 of the front page. The pre-professional Aurora. Soon to start their 10-game schedule.
I saw the mascot. Are they the Dragons? Is that what they are?
I don't think they have a nickname, do they?
Oh, because it looked like a dragon that was the mascot.
Well, maybe. I don't know. But
I got
we couldn't come up with $2 million, and the last expansion fee was $100. So I don't know if we're going to make it or not. I don't know if we're going to get there.
I got something else written down.
All right.
Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese.
I don't.
The behavior of some of these WNBA players is appalling.
There's some egos at stake there.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, she gave her a little shove or something. I didn't see it, but I know Angel got very upset with it. And,
Well, she flopped as if Caitlin Clark tried to decapitate her.
Okay.
And it was just a very simple
and
foul.
then the officials basically said, well, it wasn't a flagrant foul, but we called it one anyway.
Right.
That's the other thing about women's basketball.
I don't think. I think she'll die. I think she's going to get killed
On the court.
No,
Yep, I do.
I think that was worse early last year than it was later on. There was, most of them got smart enough to realize the reason the league is having 3 times as high TV ratings as it had before is her.
Yeah, and they can't stand it. They can't stand that it's her.
Some of them
They can't stand that it's her.
Yeah, I don't think all of them are that stupid.
I think she's going to die.
I think all of them are that. I don't think all of them are that stupid.
Your guy Whitlock.
She's got a good team this year, by the way.
Your guy Whitlock had a great tweet about this. It said, Man, this Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark feud would be really great if Angel Reese could actually play basketball.
Right.
I don't know. She was a rookie. She played pretty good.
I thought that was a pretty good cheap shot.
Well, she's a great rebounder.
Yeah.
She's better than the chubby girl that Reeve drafted instead of.
Hey, didn't we win? We won our opener, didn't we?
We two blowout wins. We're good.
Beat Paige Buchers.
That's right.
Yeah,
Whatever her name is.
Beckers.
She got a terrible team. They're here next week though.
Who?
Paige is here Wednesday.
Thought she was just here.
No, that was
down there.
in Dallas.
Oh.
She's here for the opener, I think, Wednesday.
Oh, boy.
We'll crucify them. They aren't any good. She was the first draftee because they were the worst team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So,
My other thing I wrote down, Twins got Correa and Buxton on concussion leave.
Correa, what an idiot. Correa, it's Byron Buxton in center field.
Yeah, you don't need
He's
to
going
catch
to
it.
catch that ball. Mm-hmm. Just stay where you are. It's not Deshaun Kersey or whatever the hell his name is running after the ball. It's Buxton. He's caught everything there is to catch. What are you running out there and banging into him? And this is like Buxton's third concussion. So,
Well, do we even know if is he exhibiting symptoms?
well,
He's in the protocol.
Oh, I thought the protocol just meant you had to wait 7 days to see if you exhibited.
No. If you go a couple of days without any examples, then you can play. But
Keep thinking of Corey Koski.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, this is completely different. But
No, I know.
But yeah, it can. I mean, it's incredibly sad because how good he was playing.
Yeah.
The whole team was on fire.
He was on back. Correa, what a dummy! Let him catch the ball for God's sakes. I don't know.
Who's this kid we called up? Carson McCusker. He's 6'8".
6'8", 250. If we get in a bench clearing brawl,
I'm following him.
Somebody's in trouble. He's in more trouble than 100 years ago when Bobby Darwin was chasing Kenny Berry from the Brewers. My favorite moment ever. Were you there for the brawl when Ray Corbin hit that Coluccio in the head?
I don't remember.
He hit him in the head because he'd had a couple of doubles, Corbin. And it wasn't pre-helmet, but it was like interior thing or something.
Sure.
Laid him out right on home plate. And he's laying on home plate. We think he's dead, and the riot starts. And I mean, it was the greatest fight I've ever seen. And Bobby Darwin, big, strong, fast. And Ken Berry threw a punch at somebody in the pile for the Brewers, and Bobby started chasing him, and he started chasing him, and he's running through the dugout, and Bobby's running through the dugout after him, running, and the quote we asked Bobby Darwin, the famous quote, he says, "Can that Berry fight?" He said, "I don't know, but he can run." Bobby was a L.A. kid.
Yeah.
Tough L.A. kid. You didn't want to mess with him. Very strong, and that was a great brawl, man.
They sure won those 13 nice and quietly, didn't they?
Pitching, man.
Well, 33 scoreless innings.
Scoreless innings. Zebby didn't have it, but did you see the guy Rob the home run from Reusse Lewis? Reusse hit it over the fence, the center fielder.
Cheerios? Is that how you pronounce it?
Cheerio.
Okay.
Cheerio or something.
He's a good player.
Jumped up and
Who's in town tonight? The
caught it over the fence.
Yep.
Cleveland here for 4, and then the Royals for 3. So they're being overshadowed by the basketball, but this weekend I bet they'll have pretty good crowds.
How's Cleveland? Are they going to play a doubleheader?
No.
Well, it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday they're off.
Thursday
they're
I think it's just a 3-gamer.
6 games.
And the only reason I know that is because
I didn't know they were off.
Willie's got their day trip to Target Field for school on Wednesday.
Okay.
They get to do
game?
they do the field trip for school on Wednesday.
Well, they, it's amazing. Second longest winning streak in Twins history.
Right.
Speaking of that, I had a very Souchery and Reusse moment over the weekend because at Target Field they don't take cash for anything.
The hell, I ain't going.
Well, so I had to go buy him a Visa card that he can take with him so he can go get himself a hot dog. And I said, hey.
Even from the kids.
I said, there's
cash.
$30 on this thing. Don't be buying, a bunch of other crap. You're going to run out of money.
Yeah.
So I had to give him the old. But I said, they don't even take cash. I can't give them a 20 to take the target field.
Yeah, it's, last year I took Katie and her sister to the game. We went to the game. And there's a special place that you can go and get paper tickets if you plead with them, but they don't want to do that.
No, it's all digital.
They don't want to give you paper. What the hell? I mean, you can find people from 1967 that got ticket stubs that they kept for 100 years.
For souvenirs.
Now, what are you going to show them? Hey, look at this.
Look at my phone.
This is it. This got me in the game. What is going on? I don't get it.
They're going to have a chilly ball game tonight.
Who?
Windy and chilly.
You know what I had to do? Turn off the pool heater.
Well, I would hope you would. You're just wasting money.
I went out there 4 days ago and said, okay.
You put your foot down,
I don't want to see that because other pool owners have covers, but I don't have mine so old I don't have a cover. And when you get, like sometimes in the early fall when they still heat it, you go out there and you look up in the morning and it looks like the Titanic coming through the fog,
Can I ask you a question?
That's money right there. That's money going right into the sky.
I'm beginning to be haunted by the idea that you just automatically leave the heater on.
Well, I do when it's going to be like in the 60s at night.
Well, why?
Because when I get up in the morning and take my dip, I want it to be 85.
So you're doing a daily morning dip?
I usually take a dip in the morning, yes.
Oh, well, then you got to leave. Well, it's costing you a lot of money for that dip.
Yes, it does. If you need anything, I'll be in the pool.
I'm taking my dip.
It's my only recreation, which, I try to increase. It's about 10 yards long,
Yeah.
So I do like 3 laps. I swim like
No,
30.
you
30,
inform her I'm going for my workout.
Yes, 30, 40 yards. That's it.
See, I'm under the impression that you put the heater on only if you know it's going to be used.
Yeah, but then it's going to have to go up again, if you keep it at 85.
Well, I got news for you. Let me ask you this. In the dead of summer, on a June night when it's 85, you're not turning it on, are you?
Well, it's on, but it doesn't run.
Oh, it's
if it hits 85,
thermostat
it doesn't
deal?
run.
Oh, that's fancy.
It's not, you set the thing, and this heater is only 2 years old, so it should be good for about 3-4 more years. Yeah.
I have a question. So, what time is the morning dip? The neighbors, are they alerted?
Usually
5 a.m.?
Nah, well, once in a while, if it's hot and I get up, but usually it's 9, something like that. 9 in the morning, after I, read the paper, which doesn't take long these days.
No, but in this weather, you're not going to bother.
I got a bit of a complaint about the Star Tribune.
Okay. So do I. No TV and no stock pages.
Yeah, 4 miles from the print shop. 4 miles. Mm-hmm. Drive. Friday, we moved our deadlines up, which is bad. 9 o'clock first run, but we still got like the 10:30 or quarter to 11 for the city edition for the late run. Saturday morning, the Twins have now won 12 in a row.
Hottest team in baseball.
No game story.
Ooh.
No game story. I get the run's so small now. I get the 9 o'clock edition, and all I get is big pictures saying the game isn't over yet.
Yeah.
Come on. They still make more money off the Sunday paper than they make off anything else. Let's have a little appreciation for the paper product here.
There was a day when an outstate paper would have the score in it.
Oh, God, yes. Yeah.
Do you guys still have a daily beat writer? Doesn't Bobby Nightingale go to every game?
Yeah, but if they start printing them at 9 o'clock and the game isn't over, he can't do anything about it.
Got to do the 6th ad.
Yeah. The Joe. The
Gotta
10th
do the
ad.
Joe.
The 10th ad.
The 10th ad, not the 6th ad. Yeah.
The 10th ad.
Still don't get it.
Tell me that story again. Remind me. I don't.
Well, there's really not much to tell. I wasn't given a lot of instruction.
Sure.
I was just expected to turn in a story.
Sure.
Now, is it true the first time you covered a game, you didn't take your typewriter with you?
Took a yellow legal tablet.
I thought you'd go back to the office and hang it out.
No one told me a bleeping thing. Tom Me let me use his typewriter.
Yes. Carried up
and
the big
said, you better get going.
Yeah, right.
I said, why? Well, because you have to send it from here. This is how loose the communication was.
Yes, right. By
So
the way,
then
it hasn't improved, but go ahead.
Then it became, you write it in pieces.
Yeah.
You know, you send us something. I gradually pestered them enough to say, well, what the hell do you want here? Well, you provide it in pieces.
Yes.
So, for some reason, it's the first piece you send is called the 10th ad. Because
you started on like the 5th inning. You send it a hunk at the
You
5th
send
inning.
them some stuff.
Yeah.
Twins got out to a hot start.
Yeah.
And then, but what's happening later is going to be more important.
So that's
So
now
then
a
you
different
can
ad.
make it the 9th ad
Yep.
and the 8th ad.
Yep.
So it goes
Whoa, here
above the
comes a
10th.
7th
And
ad.
then all of a sudden, it's the lead.
Yeah.
And then first ad. So.
But Batson we had a big old mean bear named Larry Batson, who was the editor.
Yes.
And
best place to find him was the wagon.
right,
Yeah.
until he took the cure.
Yes.
And even then, I'm not sure. And I loved the guy. And he kind of...
He found you, for God's
and
sake.
he liked me the way Mock liked me. He thought, how could this irredeemably stupid idiot be this good?
Yeah, right.
So I would get in arguments with him about the ad. I said, well, why is it called a 6th ad? Or a 10th ad? I don't know why. That's what we're going to call it. And then you go over to where those papers were bound.
You wanted it
those
to be
big
like
bound-
you wanted it to be like your trigonometry teacher at St. Thomas. There had to be an explanation.
Why
for
not
it.
just call it the 1st? I mean, no, it's the 10th. And then he'd go to that big folder of papers, you know, that has the daily editions in it. And he'd turn to a sports section. He'd say,
he'd show you the state edition.
yeah,
how
he'd
that
say, now
worked.
here, look at this. Here's where the 10th ad would be.
Yes.
He'd show me a paragraph.
Yeah.
And then see what above it is? That would be, we'll call that the 9th.
What happened? Yeah.
And then the 8th. And then pretty soon you'll be able to say, who won? And I send that last.
Yes, right.
It was all he could do to keep from strangling me.
Well, I got news for you. When I started in Duluth, if I hadn't been a copy boy, I wouldn't have known what the hell they were talking about either. So,
Not a lot of time was spent on the educational process.
no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Just get out there. You're covering the Twins.
Okay, that's fine. Yes. Wow. But it was fun. 13 in a row, man.
But everybody was
last
paying
team in the
attention to
world.
the Timberwolves, and
it was kind of quiet, but
They're on the road,
so
and-
people were mad at the poll ads, and so the 13-game winning streak didn't do the narrative much good.
I have a question about that. Do you really think they're going to sell the team?
Yes, to Minnesota interests, and they might keep a hunk. That would be my guess.
So somewhat what Glenn did.
Do we have Minnesota interests?
I hear we do, but
Really?
but maybe not one guy that can pay it. You
No.
know, it's going to be
Five
it's gonna be
guys?
a group. Yeah. I heard a couple of names, but it's going to be, one guy might throw in 600 or something, and then they go from there. And the poll ad, what if they keep 20%? That's that gets it down to $1 billion or something, a little over $1 billion maybe. So, I don't know. I think they probably are good. I think they want to, but the Twins people keep saying that there's interest, but they're not close on anything yet. So, I don't know what. It is interesting. I had on Blue Sky.
Yes.
Is that only nice stuff on Blue Sky?
Blue Sky, this guy said if the Pohlads weren't so cheap, they would have won 14 out of 14. I said that's correct. In fact, it's well known that Shohei Ohtani's favorite player was Lou Ford when he grew up, and he actually used to iron his shirts while he wore them in honor of Lou. And the cheap Pohlads wouldn't let Shohei fill his lifelong dream of playing for the Twins.
Oh my God!
So
he ironed his own shirt while wearing it.
Now, how much was
pretty tough.
yesterday's loss could be attributed to the absence of Correa and Buxton?
It could be Correa. Could be Buxton. Correa was actually starting to get a hit.
He was
too.
starting to hit, yeah.
Well, I'd say not really because it was the pitcher. And, they might have gotten a hit or two. But
What do you like
they would
best
do.
in that bullpen?
I like them all.
Yeah.
Griffin Jackson's had a little trouble, but he's my favorite. I love him. And Durant has been really good this year. He seems better than he was last year. He's mixing pitches, and he's throwing more strikes. He was not getting in trouble.
And who's the new lefty?
Yeah, but they just he'd put him on a disabled.
Oh, they did. I missed that. Okay.
He got a tired arm or something.
I was at a place that had the Cubs and White Sox game on. Our buddy Caleb Thielbar is still chucking for the Cubbies.
Cubby got a nice deal. He got like 2.5 or something like that. I think
Good for
2.5, 3. He and they moved. I think they moved down there too.
They did.
They're in South. She gave up her job as the first assistant at South Dakota State in women's basketball, and because she wanted to raise the young one.
Sure.
So he's a lefty.
It's a great story,
he's a
man.
lefty.
It's a great story.
Yeah, I went down and wrote it when he was the first spring. He got invited to spring training, and mom has died. Unfortunately, she died young, but he was living at home with mom. When he signed there, just a quiet kid from Randolph, but a great basketball player. He was a hell of a hooper too.
Okay, basketball.
Nice guy.
Timberwolves, OKC.
OKC's good, mighty good. They won 68 games. People got to remember that they won 16 more games than any other team in the West.
Yes.
So they got a lot of
Timberwolves
depth.
beat them twice in the regular
They
season?
split. Yeah, they went 2-2. I think I'll give them a series, but I would. Do you think? You know who I'd be nervous? If I was the coach of the Indiana Fever, and I was playing the Knicks.
Pacers.
No, if I was playing the Knicks.
Yeah, but you said the Indiana Fever.
Oh, yeah. Indiana. Excuse me, Pacers. I would think that the NBA refs that are working the series have probably been in the league office and told that we got our choice between the 24th market in the NBA or the Knicks. If it comes down to a late call, boys,
Here's a good point.
Somebody said to me, remember last year when the Lynx were playing the Liberty in the final game, and the commissioner showed up in basically a jersey for the New York team? Adam Silver is going to be sitting in the stands with a Knicks jersey on.
NHL officials in the playoffs let them play.
Oh, God, they do in the NBA, too. They let them kill each other.
A 48-minute game takes 3 hours?
Yeah, they foul a lot of fouls. That's why it takes
Well,
so
they're
long.
not letting him play then if there's a lot of fouls.
Well, to Patrick's point, they let him play way more than they do in the regular season.
Yeah. Well, but
you're telling me they're getting away with more?
I think so. In the playoffs, they are.
Some of these fouls are this.
I agree.
No. It's rough. It's physical. But another thing is TV timeout, extra minute.
Right.
Least. Yeah,
but hockey, you'd have to kill somebody to get a
The
penalty.
other day, there's 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. They call a timeout. It had to be 5 frickin' minutes before we started playing, to the point I was loudly expressing my disgust in the press box, in the press area. So, the long breaks are part of the problem. That's for sure.
It's almost like a volley in tennis. And the Winnipeg, Dallas, they would go It seemed like 7 minutes without a whistle.
Is that right?
Oh,
I heard that
I was rooting for the Jets, damn it.
so was I.
Little town.
I was rooting for the Maple Leafs.
you wanted an
What
all
a
Canada.
sap I am.
You wanted an all Canada
Well,
Final
in
Four.
Toronto, for God's sakes, 1967.
Yeah.
I heard that the get-in price for the Knicks Celtics game on Saturday night was $875 just to get into that basketball game.
There's a lot of people that are willing to piss away everything they have
For a
on
basketball game.
On sports. Vikings.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? I see some of these hillbillies walking in, and this, the guy that doesn't have $20 and he's basically, renting out his children in order to pay for Viking tickets, for God's sakes. What's wrong with you people? And how about those thieves? Ziggy, we all love Ziggy. He's such a great owner. He spends to the max. Ziggy wants $20 million a year to keep the dome updated. He's making $300 million a year. Let him keep the dome updated
What is it
for the Vikings.
Updated. It's
They got to keep the
10 minutes old.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, you know that building's...
Congratulations to the state legislator on one thing. All the requests for money for sports are saying, we're going to worry about that next
Do you
year.
realize this will already be the 10th season of that building?
Yes.
Really?
This next year will be.
And it's not our fault the idiots build a corridor wide enough for two fat asses my size, and you got 50,000 people trying to
I
move
was
around
surprised
it.
at my visit that the corridor was narrow.
Awful.
was
Well,
really
plus the other
surprised.
thing, they've put these carts out. They put these portable stands out there to make it worse.
Like food trucks.
I went down to see the went down to see somebody, and when coming back, took me a half hour to get around the stadium with the corridor, and this was a half hour before the kickoff.
Were you wearing the Helga horns at the time of the hallway occurrence?
I wore them around
Gotcha.
when I took a perimeter lap.
God, the NFL likes us, man. The schedule, I got.
How about that?
7 games prime time.
Well, and you think about it, too. 2 of their road games are going to be on neutral sites.
Yeah.
I had a great email from a guy. If you're going to go to Europe and play and you're the Vikings, what country should they play in?
Sweden, Norway,
Finland. Norway.
No, it was Norway.
Norway.
But we
Yeah,
discovered...
but do we have does Norway want a game?
Oslo's got a 28,000 seat
Yeah,
building.
That's their
it.
problem. Yeah, they're not going to do that.
No, you got to have at least a 60,
They're
70.
staying over there for
Plus,
2
they're
weeks.
Norwegians. They're cheap. You don't have cheap Norwegians, man. They're all Lutherans. They're all cheap, for God's sakes.
Well, who do you think their fan base is here?
Yeah, the fallen away Lutherans.
Spending
Lutherans are
Lutherans.
decided to, instead of giving it to the church, they're giving it to the Vikings.
They're going to be over there for 2 weeks.
I know.
What will the populace do?
Oh,
What will the 2 newspapers do?
Right. Are they sending people?
Budget-wise.
Well, they'll have to send somebody.
Yeah,
you guys will send somebody.
Well, we think so.
have to. I saw Dane, the beat writer, and I said, have you made your tickets yet? And he said, not yet. So that guy's great. I mean, he covers the Vikings. We got like 9 people out there. We got 4 full-timers, 3 columnists who worry about him. Dane's out there. And then, when he's not out there, they got him in a Twins game or a Timberwolves game or something. They got these guys that got 3 beats working over there, and we got more people we know what to do with. So, unreal.
Why don't you go sell
Hey,
a
by
car?
the way,
Yeah.
I got to tell you this. I go to see your Mankato Mavs.
Yeah, how'd we do, by the way? I forgot to look it up.
You got eliminated.
Oh.
You lost the game I saw Thursday night, which puts you in the 4. You have to go 4-0.
Yep.
Rain out on Friday. They won 2 on Saturday, but then they got beat yesterday. So double eliminations.
And all of that was at IH. Did you like the ballpark?
Oh, it's a great ballpark.
Okay.
I've been there once before, but not since they put artificial turf in there.
It's pretty neat. I like what they did with those suites that are in the outfield.
But here's the deal.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Here's the deal. I get there, the press box is full.
Oh no!
Because the press box isn't very big, and they got 2 radio stations. They got Mankato,
And then the visitor.
and whoever the visitor is, and I can't. There's no room in the press box. So, and I'm writing on deadline. So I'm writing on my lap in the back row with the computer plugged in to a extension cord that's going to strangle me if I don't watch it. It was like the old days of covering the preps, man. When you're at some field and you're going,
Because all the radio guys took the seats?
Yep. They all their equipment and all their stuff. There was
what about was there another newspaper guy there?
I don't know. I don't think the free press is down to like 2 people.
Yeah, I would assume that they would have had somebody there, right? I'm not sure.
If they were, I didn't see him.
Okay.
Chad, isn't working.
Yeah, he retired.
So he's one of those guys that got a grandkid and he retires. Okay, the kid likes you now, but wait 4 or 5 years. They don't want you around, for God's sakes. Just give them something once in a while and they'll be happy.
With each new grandkid, I've had to work a different job.
Right. Yes, but it's not because they want to see all this. Once Grandpa gets once they get to a certain age, Grandpa gets phased out.
That's it.
Yeah.
Now
they kind of like us because one of them got a car and the other got an electric bike because of us. But that's hey, thanks. See ya.
Well,
See you
the
later.
one that didn't get an electric bike stole mine. and took it to Chicago.
Oh, really?
I didn't even know it.
What do you think? You think I could do an electric bike?
Yes, you got to get
Would
the
I
right
kill
seat,
myself?
though.
A big one.
Well, a comfortable one. No, seriously, you don't want a hard seat.
No, plus, can you get one that's a little shorter?
They'll take care of you. Go to EcoFoam.
Okay, I'm going to go to it. I'm going to do that. But
So we'd call the Reusse walk where you're in the convertible. Would we call this the Reusse bike ride, or
it would be great.
Well, the electric motor or whatever, however it works, will just ease the pedaling.
Yes, that's what I'm looking for.
To the point where there would you could not pedal and it'll go.
I used to ride the wife's down there in Florida once in a while, and
Was it electric?
no,
Well, you need electric.
I do. I do a lap around a little.
I need to go
pond
get
there.
groceries.
About an eighth of a mile, I'd say. That's enough of this. So, anyway, I want to sell you a car. Jim Paul and Brett Paul's Valley Group of GM dealers, Buick SUVs. You want them right now, man. They got 3-4 varieties. They're fantastic. And incredible inventory right now. Go to the website, Valley Group of GM dealers, and Valley Group Car Dealers is what the website is. And Apple Valley, they have the tremendous inventory. They have low interest rates, and they also have factory rebates going. A great variety of SUVs. And, you got the kid graduating here in the next couple of weeks. They might want a nice used SUV. Wouldn't be a bad idea out there, and I'm sure they have plenty of them at Jim Paul and Brett Paul's Valley Group of GM dealers out in Apple Valley. Check them out.